Hello everyone. Hello everyone. Welcome back. Yeah, welcome back again. I'm audible to you. Just let me check. Yeah, I'm audible. I think I'm audible to you guys. Yeah, welcome back. So as we already discussed, this is not just a series. It's something related to the my journey video. What I'm going to be prepare and what I'm preparing for, how I'm preparing. So I'm recording everything in my YouTube. So if you guys think this will helpful for you, you guys can subscribe or stay with me my entire journey. Okay, so today we will going to be see uh, actually some past interview questions. Interviewer asked like let's say like IBM, Amazon, PwC, TCS, and like top MNCs. So now questions might be from Spring Boot, SQL, microservices, Java, core Java, and some kind of DSA as well. So how I will going to be explain you, I will going to be explain you one by one line or 1 to 2 line explanation, then use case, and then real time use case, like let's see, in diagrammatic format. Yesterday what told you, teach you, like that I'm going to be teach you. So yeah, stay connected with me. And like questions will be, what are the text block and where are we, they useful, like this. Okay, so now you guys can see my this Excel sheet. I'm uh, preparing this Excel sheet every day, and writing the answers and short note and other and revision and all of these things. You can see, if you guys want this sheet, just comment sheet or something kind of, so I will provide you these sheets. Okay, I need to hide this. So let's the design patterns. It includes everything: LLD, system design, interview, what problems I face in interviews, like that. I'm going to be right over here. Then DSA problems, how to solve it, and it very helpful for you. Yeah, let's start our first questions. What are the text block, and like uh, where are we use that particular text block? So you might know, the if you wanted to be write SQL or something JSON in your Java or any other coding problem, so you have to store it in any constant value. So in Java you have to store particular thing in uh, string only. So now Java give us something kind of string stores or something text stores. So that's for the text block basically. And how we use that, I will write it down over here. So I will do, I will write over here. Let's see, if you have something like JSON, so how you're going to be around write in Java. So Java write like this, JSON, and you have to be write JSON. You won't be directly write this, so you have to write like this, and triple inverted comma, and then your JSON. JSON is something like this. Okay, so let's name is equals to Shubha. Okay, something kind of then age is equals to 35, and then something like that. And then you can iterate, do whatever you wanted to we do on this JSON. So basically this is called text blocks. Okay, and Java give us the text block facility. And our use case is writing the SQL, and then JSON, then HTML. We can also write the HTML as well. Let's see, you wanted to be send some HTML and front end, so that at that time you can write the HTML in that triple inverted comma, and triple inverted comma is nothing but the text block only. Okay, so yeah, the and next, how does Java handle the memory management using the G1 and GC? So uh, as you guys know the garbage collector in the Java. So if you don't know, just Google it. What does garbage collector does? So garbage collector does every time whenever you are creating the object, and your object is stored in heap and a stack. So if suppose your object does not have the any reference, that time what Java does, Java remove that object bin from the your um, um, uh, s- storage. So that's the use of the garbage collector. Let's see, your integer a is equals to 20. Okay, and your 20, now you change the value of a is equals to 30. Now what garbage collector does, garbage collector will remove this 20 from the storage, so you don't need to be like or store your storage. And if suppose your let's see, your object is something like this, and your object is something like object, and you refer the something other object, so that time this will be going to be removed. Okay, so that's called the garbage collector. G1 what does do? So basically, G1 is the region-based balanced output and low latency mechanism. So it's a mechanism for storing. So, and JDS is the ultra level latency. Let's see, if you are building something, you will not get the concurrent and high level latency at a time. So you will get something. It's also the JDS is also the mechanism to do things, collect the garbage collectors. Okay, this is the two things. Next, we will come on the Spring Boot. This is below question is Spring Boot. Okay, now question asks, what are the difference between equals and hash codes, and why it is important. So as you guys know the core Java, so you guys have to know about the uh, equals and hash codes. Let's jump into the VS code. Okay, I will explain over here. If I think you guys can see my screen very well. If not, just comment it out. If suppose you are getting lot of noise, lot of noise around me, so actually it's something like I'm preparing, and I'm recording my journey video, so I don't have to be edit and set up the lot of things. So I'm not going to be do like this. It's it what it is. So yeah, you can little bit use the your earphones or something. And okay, so what does it mean by equal and equals? Okay, let's see, you have the string A is equals to Shubham. Okay, and string B is equals to Sanket. Let's see Sanket. Now let's consider the B is equals to also the Shubham. Okay, now if A is equals to B, oh, you know operators, and if you don't know, then you have to learn the basic of the Java. Then system dot out dot print both are same, both are same. So what do you think, guys? What will we will get output? Will get this, or will not get anything? Let's see what will happen. Now you can You can see both are same. Okay, and let's see if you have so uh, uh, and if you have new string and you pass the string something like this and new string something like this. Okay, then think what will going to be. Okay, so oh, sorry, this is new. Why this? Oh, we are getting. Oh, sorry, this is a saving problem. So yeah, now do you think what will get output? So now we'll run the codes, will not get anything. Why this so? So actually, when you are creating some new object over here, okay, new object over here. So what A is equals to do? This will map the hash code. A dot hash code and B dot hash code. Okay. So actually, what does they do? What they map? They map the hash code when you are same. Now you can see. So hash code return the, and if you wanted to check this particular value, so you have to write equals and then pass the your comparison equals equals of b. Now you will get the output something kind of this. Both are same. Now you will get the, you I think you get the what does it mean by the equals and hash code. So basically, equals is a logical equality when you wanted to be check the value of your object. That time you use the equals, and hash code is the bucket of placement in hash map. Suppose you may know the how does uh, how does the system work. So basically hash codes stores our attribute stores in our, let's see, our hash map. So we will get the key and pair, what we'll say, code. So if you suppose store the a, then with that along you get the code. Oh yeah, let's see, 1122 something kind of, it's Java generated code, so you don't have to need. So in so that that's it about the equals and hash code. So equal object must be same in hash code. So yeah, next we will jump into the spring Boot questions. How does spring boot auto configuration works in internally? So you know the what does mean by auto configuration. If you don't know, so it's, I will show the one diagram like this one. So auto configuration is the combination of the three part, like enabled auto configuration, component scanning, and configurations. Okay, this is called the auto configuration. So how does it works? So it actually it actually work, check the class path, then auto configuration classes, and then bin it create. So it works internally like this. Now its contains enabled auto configurations plus string factories, then class path scanning. If you go to the your project, let's say I do have one project, I will open that. Before opening, I'm opening that, it will take some time, little bit time. So that's called the auto configuration work internal, how it auto configuration work internally. Let's talk about the difference between the component, service, and repositories. So you guys might know the what does mean by component, service, and repositories. Okay, so before we talk about the component, so component, you guys might know REST component and component. If you are Spring Boot developer, then you have know this thing. So and you must know the difference between them. So basically, component. What does mean by components? Component basically when you write the codes, it target the value. It target the files only. You can write the HTML code in particular file and then target that particular file. Let's see if you return something like Shubham in component class. So what it will do is it will check the Shubham name file and return that particular file to the output. But REST component what does so basically when you return the statement something like this, it consider plain text and show the Shubham only in the front end. So that is the major difference between the component and REST component. So you should know this the difference between the REST component and component. Okay. So let's talk about the component, service, and repositories. So I will first what I'll do. I will explain you the flow. What actually our client does when the client send the request. Our controller lever come into the picture. So controller check the everything and target the proper service. Service will uh, call the proper repositories. Okay, so let's see. I do have component like this. Before I will make the I do have component, and then I have the service and the repositories. Okay, so if you think logically, so repositories work on the data side. Like let's see if you wanted to work with communicate with database. So that time our repositories come into the picture. Okay. Okay. So our pro will be like this. You have the I don't know why it's not selecting. So something like this and this from the service to your repository. Okay, let's see. This is a component slash controller as well. Someone says controller, some said, and this is service, and then this is the repository. Okay, repo. So now, when your component call the service handle the business logic. This is the main part of our, let's see, logic. Business logic. Service handle the business logics. Okay, so how it handle business logic. I will explain you. And repos handle the s- uh, uh, DV side DTO. Okay, and let's see, like connections, page, create new model, new table, like this. These all of these things handle the repos. So you might get the questions of why not all of these things in one place. So Basically, in our backend system, we have to create the layer by layer. So when your controller, when your client send the request, you have the some middleware authentication. So in, if it is passed, then we send that request into the components. So basically, if suppose someone hackers come into the picture, so that time he won't be able to reach our reports wala part. So that's why we need more secure. So that's why we differentiate all of these things. And if suppose you have one project and you wanted to be worked on that, a lot of people working on that, so it's very easy to understand the things and work together, work as a team. Okay, that's why we differentiate all of these things and create the new file structures like this. Okay, so yeah, and after let's see, if you wanted to be calculate the total maximum salary from the database. So you have the database and you wanted to be do, so what you will do, you can write the query over here. So how you'll write the query, so we have the text block here, and then you will call that particular query from these, based on these repos. Okay, so these are the difference between the component, service and repository. Let's talk in one line. So component is a generic, and repository is the database administration operations and executions in database and exception translation. It's the difference between all of them. Now now talking about the how do you handle the global exceptions handle in Spring Boot. Let's talk about the global exception handling. Let's see. I do have some codes. Let's see something is happen in these codes, and you have the file structure something like this long of like file structure. So and in API there are a lot of what we can say file structure. So you you have to, you don't have to write the exception everywhere, like you don't have to write exceptions over here. Okay, so that's why we just send the exceptions over here and then catch that exception from the globally. Okay, that's called the global exception handler. So 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 that time you have to write the one annotation when you are handling exceptions. So you have to write the control advice, CONTROLLER advice. Okay, and then you have to create the something, one more annotation will exception handler, and then you have to pass the exception class, and then check that particular class, and based on that class, let's see your class is something like runtime exception. So based on that class you can print the something, or you can give the print the something runtime exception. Okay, this is how it is. Now let's talk about the how does Spring Boot externalize the configuration for the different environment. So in Java, let's, I think we open the in Java. Let's see, forget all of these files. So you can go the target src, and then no. Let's go main, then resource, and then application property. If you open this, why it's not opening? Actually, it's not. Now you can see this is the file something we store the properties, every property, like let's see connection and all of these things. But suppose you don't want to be store this any file over here, so you will create the, let's see, you wanted to be, you have the lot of versions, let's see, servers, let's see, UAT, then a demo, then production. So how you'll going to be separate it out? So what you will do, you will create the file something, YML file, then let's see your application dot prod prod dot YML. So you can write this, and then you can store the property, all of this property, like this, not like this. You have better way to do something like this. You want it to be stored, then application and then name. Okay, so now how it is considered. So in the Spring applications, you have the one attribute like name. Similarly, you every time you don't need to write the Spring, and then let's see, Spring, and then data source. You can directly write the data source over here. Then data source, basically what I mean, this you can copy and just paste over here. Source, inside the data source you have the URL like this. You don't need to write the Spring again and then data source and then a lot of these things. It how it is YML file. So and then you can change the production to UAT, then UAT to development and test something kind of. Okay, so that's it, the external configuration for the different environment. So you can create the whatever environment you want, and you can uh, configure different if you have the different database for the different test and everything. Okay, next is how do you secure the REST API using the JWT in Spring Boot? It's simple, as you are using the anywhere, so you can use the JWT token. So how you're going to be, simply one line of code. So you whenever you are a user is login, let's see, I will show the diagram. I don't know why this overlaps. Okay, okay. Now I'm going to be draw the one diagram when the user login. Let's see. I will go with the typing only. Eh, Drawing the diagram take a lot of time. Log in the user. So it directly the it directly check the database. Check DB if user is present. Then take required info, and then generate JWT. How JWT? What the JWT contain? It contains the header, then payload, and then signature. Okay, so payload contains all information like your ID, role, name. If you want to store, you can store as many you want. So all of these things we will hashed into the something kind of ABCD something blah 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 blah. So user can't read, and anyone can't read until you get the your private key. So how it is JWT, and when you request again, let's see you wanted to request again some report valley API. So that time you just send the JWT. You don't need to be check the database where is it, where user is not present or not present. You don't need to, because JWT is verified and JWT is okay. Then you good to go to do report business logic basically. So yeah, that's it about the JWT. Then next thing is to be the what is the role of Spring actuator in production. Oh, this is the important part, like what actuator does. So basically actuators is the, it provide the production ready monitoring endpoint. So you might know the, let's see, let as we already see the all of these things. Let's see, yeah, let's see it's the JDBC MySQL. Okay, and then we have the, we might have the we don't have the anything. So yeah, 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 oh yeah, you can see the management endpoint web exposure include the health. So now on this basis, all of the health of your let's say your any service, let's say you have connected with the MySQL, so you wanted to be see the what the current situation of the MySQL, so you can check with that. So that's called, this is actuator does. So actuators get the information matrix and information of that particular service. Let's you have the Kafka, you have the anything connected with your system, so you can get the all information, current information of that particular service. So it's very easy. If suppose you are feeling some problem of fetching getting the data, that time you need to check the database, if it is database working very well or it's something is wrong with the database. So that type we use the actuator. So that's the use of the actuator. So if you suppose you enable the health, you can see the enable. So if suppose your actuators uh, start the endpoint like management is something like this. Okay, so yeah, that's about the actuator. Next part is and this is the transactional. Okay, so this is also important propagation in the transactional. So if suppose you wanted to be do some action, some real, I will take the real time example. Before if suppose the interviewer asks you the what does mean by the transactional, so you can simply say them, I wanted to complete the task. If it is failed, so I wanted to be revert that task. I don't want it to be like pending that task. It's not something like you do the task and then pending. No, if it is complete or not complete, not start only. Okay, so that's called the transactional. So I will take the one example, real time example. Let's see, if you have the Google Pay and you wanted to send money to your friend. Okay, now you scan the scan the QR. Okay, now it's okay. Then you enter the pin, enter the pin. Okay, now this time if you enter the pin, your transition should be goes to the your friend account. Okay, and then your account should update. Before let's see, in finance, your account should update, and then your friend account credit, credit, friend account. Okay, this is the full process. But unfortunately something is happen in between the when your account is updated and something happen or error, server is down. So server down or your code is breaked. So that time this entire process will roll back. It's not something like your money is deducted and your friend not receive the money. That's not called the transaction. So it's incomplete transaction. So that's why we have to roll back that to the your account. So how it works, so it will call the your account update this, and then log the thing like this. If it is success, then your account, your friend account will update. So that's called the transactional. Okay, then how do you integrate the Kafka with your Spring Boot application? It's simple. Like you can create the environment of the and store the some properties in your properties, and then connect with your producer with your Kafka and then consumer. Okay, it's simple. So you can it's something like you have to be check the real time only. What are the advantage and challenges of the microservice architectures? Uh, so I will go fastly little bit. So advantage is the scalability and independent model, and challenges is something like network latency and distributed data. So let's see, suppose you have the worldwide networks and you have the worldwide what we can say worldwide user. So that time you will face the network latency and distribution. So to reduce that problem, so we come up with the server setup on different locations. So that is also the but it is too much complicated. So that's the challenges and architecture we have. So explain the Sega pattern for the distribution transaction. So as we already talk about the transactional, it's both are similar. So Sega pattern is just a managed distribution transaction using the compensation action. So let's see, your order send payments and then shipping and then roll back if fails. So it's something like that, as we already talked the as the transactional um, uh, 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 annotation. So both are same. You can communicate with it. And how do you implement the service to service communication securely? Yeah, this is also the best question. So service to service communication, you have a lot of options. So one is that JWT authentication, then OAuth, then MTLS. So what does it mean? So JWT is basically check the WT both side, and if it is okay, then just go ahead. It's a foreign key and secure key, basically combination of. So yeah, that's it about the today's. I think we are talk about lot of questions and lot of things. Yeah, that's it how it is. And before I stop the things, so you guys know that I'm preparing very well for the top MNCs like Microsoft, Amazon, and like this. I'm preparing whole day and night. So and also this is my journey video. If you guys think this is very going to be helpful for you, and if you wanted to motivate me, just follow me and subscribe me, and do comment, do shares, and stay connected with my journey video. That's it for today. Thank you. Bye bye.